Hello, I'm Daniela, and welcome to Prompt 9 in Stitch With Me in 2023. I can't believe we're in September already for the prompts. So this is our 9th prompt. Right away, let's get started. Today's prompt is personal artifact. Now that's kind of an interesting one. A personal artifact, if you look in the dictionary, there is no set term for personal artifact. You can look up personal and artifact. When combined, it just basically means a handmade object, a man-made object that's dear to you. At least that's my version of it. Now you feel free to extrapolate and create your own version of this. A personal artifact can be a found object that you cherish. It can be a gift that someone gave to you. It can be something that you created yourself. I'm going to use something near and dear to me in my card, and I can't wait to show you how I do it. So let's get started. So for prompt 9, my found object is really a treasured object here. A personal artifact is probably a better way to describe it because it means something to me, but it might not mean anything to anyone else in the world. And that's okay. I've come to accept that and actually appreciate it. So this is just an old little locket that I bought. It's kind of a funny story, a very emotional one. My mother-in-law, when she passed away, it was very hard on the family. And when I was helping my father-in-law through it, we found a lock of her hair that he had saved for many years. And he's not a very sentimental person. So to find that lock of hair, I thought was really sweet. I know in certain circumstances it might be really creepy, and that's fine. But in this case, it was nothing but sweet. And so I said, "Oh, how sweet, you kept it." And he was very gruff about it. No, it didn't really matter. But I know it did because he saved it for so many years. So I wanted to make it special. So I found this little locket, and you can really see just the end here of the hair kind of curled up in the shape of that locket. So I put in a little heart that I cut out. You can see it that way. It kind of moves around. I kind of like that about it. And I like that the locket kind of looks like a little pocket watch. So this is my treasured object, my found object, and I want to put that in my work. I have a little piece of muslin here that I'm going to use as my backing that I'll attach to my card. And then her hair was a beautiful red color when he saved it, so I found some fabric that kind of coordinated and some lace that matched that color of the heart that I had cut out. I also found a little heart button. I have some floss and some different colors here. So I have this little piece. I wanted to attach it to my backing. I'm not really concerned about the backing showing through, although it can. So I'm just going to cut this and fray the edges a little bit. Just cut around the edges. And then I can fray them a bit. So this is starting to be my backing piece, and I really like that frayed look. Sometimes I'll take the fabric and turn it the upside down because it has a little hint of color, but it doesn't have as much color as I want. So I'm going to use the regular front side, the intended side. There, just fray it a little bit. And I think I wanted to put this lace on the backing. She was very feminine, and so I wanted something that would instantly remind me of her. Whenever I see very floral or feminine things, anything beautiful, I'm always reminded of my mother-in-law. So I wanted to put this down like this. And then I had these other colors. She did a lot of decorating with corals and neutrals. I thought, oh, that's kind of her color scheme. So I was thinking of maybe making a few little pieces that I tuck under here. It's a very simple but layered piece. Just like that. I actually really like that. I think that color is beautiful, particularly with that orangey red. Maybe I'll do the same thing here. And I'm just having these tabs stick out just a little bit. This is really a designing process here. I have one more. Maybe I'll double up over here. So yeah, I like that. I think it balances out that lace. I can tuck that lace over. And it's not quite straight there. Trying to see if that's a problem for me. It's not really a problem, but I don't want the other end to stick up either. And so that's kind of my premise. Now I have this lace too, which I really like. I think I might add that in. I found this bead, a little heart. I don't know if the heart's too much, but for now, I'll stitch all of these down. I have some orange embroidery floss here. I'll stitch around the orange, and then I have just some pearl thread, which I'll stitch around the remaining pieces before I add this. So the first thing I'm going to do is just pin everything in place, and then I can start my stitching. So I'll stitch it down and show you the next layer. So I've stitched all the way around, can remove the pin, and it's a fairly chunky little card already, which I personally love. So now I want to put my little personal artifact just like that. I think that's lovely. I noticed the little appearance of this is very interesting. I'm going to wrap a little bit of this beautiful orangey red embroidery floss right around the neck of this piece, and I'm also going to use that to attach it to my piece. So I'll start by attaching it a couple of times, find out exactly where I want it, and I'm going to come up with my needle and then just stitch it down just through the neck. So I like the way that looks. Then I'm going to come up there maybe 5 or up to 10 more times, going around the neck, really trying to get a nice thick wrapping here. I could have wrapped the piece before I put it on the card, and that would have been another way to do it, but I think this will actually help secure it to this little card. Maybe I'll go around one more time right at the top here. So already it's fairly secure to my card. It's not going anywhere, which is pretty important to me for this piece. I'm going to come up here and sew it a few times as well on the little holder. Maybe 2 times up here and then on either side. And then I can decide if I want to wrap it further. Do one over here. And again, and I'll do it on the other side as well. So I have it stitched down. It's fairly secure. If I wanted to, I could wrap it across, but I really don't think that's necessary. I can even wrap it up and down to hold it in place, but that's pretty secure. So I'm going to knot it on the back here. Now before I attach it to my card, I just want to make sure that there's nothing else I want to add to my piece. I do like the way it looks. It's intriguing. If you can't tell that there's something in there, you want to see what's in there. So you do feel like you want to hold it and move it around. I originally thought I might add that button. I don't mind the button, but it doesn't really move me too much. I think I want something here, like a little tag or a label. And I think I'm going to stamp, using ink and rubber stamps, her name, my mother-in-law's name, over here, and attach that. And let me show you how I do that. So I have a little strip of muslin here that's larger than the letters from my little stamp that I'm going to use. And I just have some fade-resistant dye ink. You can use whatever ink you want. I'm going to take it and I'm going to stamp her name. And due to her hair color, she was known as Red for many years. So I'm going to take my stamp and just stamp her name Red. Kind of lining it up somewhat. Now I'll wash these, set them aside, but I'll complete my piece first. I want to trim this down a little bit. Can fray this somewhat because I happen to like that look. And then I can stitch it right down. I think I'll trim it just a little bit more. That's better. And now I'm going to take some more of that pearl thread and I'll stitch it down. I'm only going to stitch on either side of the name, just like it's a little label. And that's enough to hold it in place. So there I have my prompt for my personal artifact, and I'm ready to attach it to my card. I'll just stitch it around on the muslin to hold it in place. So then I finished my prompt, and now I'm ready to set it in my case until the end of the year. So that's prompt 9 in the Stitch With Me in 2023 online workshop. We have 4,000 members in our Facebook group, and I want to say thank you to each one of you. I really am enjoying this workshop, and I find it a little sad to know that we only have 3 more prompts before this workshop is complete. I really enjoy the monthly prompts, and I enjoy even more seeing all of your prompts in our Facebook group. If you haven't joined yet, please feel free to join. The link is below in the show notes, and all previous prompts will be linked as usual. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. And please consider becoming a paid member of my channel with behind-the-scenes footage and additional content. Thanks for joining me.